Australians installing rooftop solar panels, it's literally killing the profits of coal companies here in Australia. It's going to make these coal power plants go extinct well before the predicted timeline of 2032 to 2036. It's already at a point where these coal power plants are clearly making tremendous losses. If you have a look at Amber, you can see, Amber is a company you can actually use as your electricity provider, and that shows you the wholesale market. It shows you that these coal companies are often trading at a loss. And the thing is here, more and more Australians are installing big solar systems. The average size of the solar system being installed now in Australia is a 10 kilowatt solar system, which is much bigger than what they used to be. And it's getting bigger all the time. As a result of that, rooftop solar now accounts for more than 21 gigawatts of power here in Australia, which is a new record. And at certain times of the day, it's hitting more than 50% of the entire grid here in Australia. And it's actually supplying more than 50%. On Sunday, so only a few days ago, rooftop solar provided 52% of all of Australia's power, just solar on people's houses and roofs. And as solar continues to get cheaper and more Australians start to wisen up and stop being idiots and moaning about the cost of electricity and actually doing something about it by putting really cheap solar panels on their houses, as that happens more and more often, these coal power plants, they are bleeding big time. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Now unfortunately, I have the same problem as you guys probably do. A lot of your solar is being wasted during the day. So even though rooftop solar hit a new record share of 52% during the day on Sunday, even though that happened, that's great. The truth is rooftop solar is being wasted. In fact, renewable energy, even though it hit a new record here in Australia on the main grid of 75% for the first time in history on Sunday as well, 75% of all energy across Australia for, not for the entire day, but at a certain point in that day was renewables. Even then, that figure could have probably hit about 100%, but unfortunately the market was curtailing or wasting a huge amount of electricity. But if you have a good look and you see all the new battery projects that have been approved recently, and all of those that will come online within the next 2 to 3 years, you'll see that actually the number of batteries that are installed in Australia now, while it's actually pretty damn impressive based on the population size we have, it's minuscule. We will have 5 times more batteries, 5 times as many batteries that are sucking up that rooftop solar within about 3 years time from now. That's a 500% growth figure. And what that means is that even though I'm losing money, at least my solar is being wasted, a lot of my solar that I'm generating during the day is being wasted, a lot of yours probably is too, that will change very soon. It'll be like California, where that rooftop solar isn't being curtailed. It's going straight to these massive batteries, and it's being used for the peak hours, 6 to 9 p.m. If a city or a state with 41 million people can change to the point where their primary source of energy now is batteries for their peak 6 to 10 p.m. and it's hot in California, right? It's warm there, beautiful climate, but it's very warm there. They've done it. So what they've done, that's about to happen here in Australia. Now this new milestone of 75% renewables here in Australia is pretty damn impressive, but compared to South Australia, where renewables have hit 115% of all demand, obviously a lot of that's been curtailed because you can't go to 115%, we only need 100%. It shows you the future of the grid here in Australia. We don't need all these offshore wind turbines. They're great, but we don't actually need them. We do need some onshore wind, which is obviously much cheaper. But we don't actually need that much for baseload. Baseload doesn't need to be that big, maybe 5 to 10% for your baseload. The rest of it can be primarily solar, and it's heading in that direction. Now, my solar system here provided me with the other day with 142 kilowatts of energy. It's enough to charge 2 EVs from almost zero to completely full during the day. So I recommend getting solar on your roof. It's a no-brainer in my opinion if you've got an electric car. And the company that I use, they're amazing. They don't pay me anything for saying this, but I think you should use them because they've been phenomenal. The CEO has helped me in so many ways. He hasn't had to, he just has. I haven't said to him I'm going to do anything for him, so I want to pay him back, and that's why I think Guys, use this company. They're absolutely fantastic. I'll put a link in the description. The name of the company is Resync Solar. If you use my link, they will know that you're coming from me, and they're more likely to, well, they want to do a deal for you and make sure you get the best deal possible. Now, while there are, here's what Renew Economy said. This is cool, right? Of course, when there are winners, there are also losers. And the nation's slowly dwindling fleet of aging, polluting coal-fired generators posted a new record low share of 24% at 11 a.m. and a record low output of 6,042 megawatts at 11:50 a.m. Much below, or far below, the previous low of 6,380 megawatts. Record low. So our population is bigger than ever. Or, we're not like Ireland or some country where the population is declining. Our population continues to grow fast, and the share of coal, the coal output, hit a record low. So you can really see where things are going here. Don't listen to the naysayers. Nuclear is great, but we don't actually need it here in Australia. Operational demand on the main grid also fell to a new low of 10,500 megawatts on Sunday. So why is operational demand falling to a new low? Well, one of the reasons is all the rooftop solar. People are using a lot of their own rooftop solar. So for me, for example, I only use a tiny amount of energy from the main grid. That's about to change because I'm about to get a battery connected to my solar system, and then I'll be using literally zero. I won't be using any electricity from the grid at all. Many other people are following this. Many other people are doing the same thing as I am, or already have done this, and that's contributing to this record low demand. But the thing is, the naysayers said, all Toyota companies as well, said if we had EVs, it would collapse the grid. The grid would die. I mean, if we're driving electric cars, there'd be so much extra demand. Now, yes, it's true, the grid, it's true that most cars are still petrol-powered, gasoline-powered, diesel-powered here in Australia, but considering we now have, hundreds or tens of thousands, many EVs on the road. I need to find out exactly how many there are on the road. Considering how many thousands of electric cars we have and our population continues to grow, how is it that demand is hitting record lows? Well, it turns out most people that buy an electric car also get a solar system at the same time. Not necessarily at the same time, but they usually also have a solar system. Coal-fired generators are being forced to do what's called dancing around the surging output of rooftop solar, particularly in springtime when mild temperatures mean demand isn't high. Renew Economy says that many units are forced to ramp down and up rapidly. Some are being switched off completely. And those that cannot manage that bid the wholesale price into negative territory to ensure they are dispatched. So these coal power plants, if anything, within a few years' time, they are just going to be a nuisance. And I think they're already making a loss. Most of them are making a loss, an operational loss. And those losses they'll grow to the point where these coal power plants will just be completely unfeasible. As coal continues to decline and renewable energy reaches new milestones, the focus on energy storage and grid management becomes even more critical to maintaining stability and supporting Australia's clean energy future, said Jeff Eldridge, an energy analyst with GPE Nemlog. State-based records fell as well. In other words, state records were broken. On Saturday, the share of rooftop PV hit a stunning new record of 113% of state demand in South Australia, whilst on Sunday, rooftop PV hit a new peak of 55% here in New South Wales. This is the country's biggest grid. So New South Wales also has the largest coal fleet, but New South Wales is installing, I'm talking enormous amounts of batteries over the next 3 years. We've got huge Tesla batteries here. We've got massive batteries coming from different companies, and they will be soaking up this excess solar that's being wasted during the middle of the day. And therefore that will mean that I think we'll get to that point where you won't be wasting your solar. You won't feel like, oh, it's just being curtailed, I'm making nothing from it. You actually should get a bit of a kickback from the utilities because they'll be actually able to use it and then sell it back to everyone else at between 6 to 10 p.m. in that peak point of the day. This is really trending in a direction which I think is incredible. Here in Australia, a lot of people still think we are completely dependent on coal. And it looks like we are. But we're in the point of this, that we're in a pivotal point where disruption is about to, it's happening, and we just don't realize it's happening. A lot of people are not seeing it. They're not realizing that actually this disruption is happening right now. These coal power plants are about to be killed. I mean, within a matter of only a few years' time, Australia will have almost no coal power plants left. And then this whole argument of people saying we need nuclear, without nuclear we're screwed, it will be dead in the water. It'll just sound ridiculous. What are your thoughts though? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.